and things like it is the equivalent of the red pill.
This is a technology, it's a computing language, and I can build an app on it.
Is Bitcoin the currency of the future?
Crypto gang, it's the game, big gang, alt gang, light gang, cash game, blockchain. Whoa, I don't really ever buy stocks, man. No. Haters wanna say I'm in a bubble, man. No. Chew them up like bubble gum. No. Just made a meal with my pocket change. No. Wreck about to go and join the huddle gang. Huddle gang, huddle gang, huddle gang. Crypto gang, it's the game, big gang, alt gang, light gang, cash game, blockchain. Whoa, I don't really ever buy stocks, man. No. Haters wanna say I'm in a bubble, man. No. Chew them up like bubble gum. No. Just made a meal with my pocket change. No. Wreck about to go and join the huddle gang. Huddle gang, huddle gang, huddle gang. Ethereum pays for my rent. Bitcoin pays for the vent. Litecoin pays for the jet. Bitcoin cash for the rest. Spent 30 racks on an ICO. What coin did you buy? I forgot, yo. Just got started last night, bro. And I'm already hooked like a pipe stove. Flipping the coin, making it grow, taking it slow, letting it go. Cash flow's growing, it's incredible to watch it flow. Stacking the cash, taking it home, making it fast. I'm on a roll. Little bit mo's all I ask for the bubble though. Currently learning about a new type of currency. Burning the dollar down like an emergency. Urgently, listen, my friends have been urging me. Coins have been surging, we're earning like urgency. We on a mission, man. Crypto maniac. Act like you don't really know about it. Stop that. Bitcoin blowing up like a bomb. Step back. Used to be a couple $100. Should've copped that. Blew up on the scene from the mind of a brainiac. Back in 2009, where the miners at? Silk Road, baby, it's gotta be anonymous. Satoshi blew up, now we on the map.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are back at it again for another episode of Crypto Portfolio Updates. First and foremost, let's thank the sponsor of the show, Delta Investment Tracker app. I have a referral link down in the description below. If you are not on board with the Delta Investment Tracker application, it has two major applications. Obviously, it tracks your crypto portfolio, which was why they sourced me out to sponsor the platform, sponsor the show, which is super useful. Secondly, it also tracks your traditional financial stock investment portfolios. Super useful across the board. Can't thank them enough. Super useful tool. I use it all the time. You should give it a try. I don't get anything from the referral link, but I would like to let them know that the people who are watching over here in the Wolf Pack did find out about them via me, if possible. Would be great help. Thank you. Secondly, this is your first time here. I would like, first and foremost, for you to ingest the content. Secondly, if you find value in it, definitely like the video. Secondly, if you find value in it and you would like to see more, I'd like to think balanced, logical crypto conversations, I would welcome you to subscribe and join the Wolf Pack. There's plenty of room in the Wolf Pack for everyone. We're not trying to get rich by ourselves. Thirdly, if you find value in it, even if it's just the one video, because I understand that people aren't going to implicitly agree with every single thing that is said on every single video. But if you found value in it, share it with your audiences. Definitely reference back, because like one of the things that I find interesting and annoying at the same time is these people want to silo themselves. They want their subs to only watch their videos. They'll react. They'll steal content from people. They'll steal ideas from people. They won't cite their sources, and they'll want their little corner to be the only corner of the internet, as though we are all saying the same thing. We are not saying the same thing. There's a bunch of nuance in crypto. There's a bunch of different characters and personalities within this space. We may agree on 60%. We may agree on 70%. We may agree on 80%, but there'll be 20% variance. Also, we're not coming at these stories from the same angle. So there is no reason to try to hide and be campy about this. Share the content. Not that deep. But the next thing and the next platform that we want to give a shout out to is the family over at Circa 84. if you are serious about taking your investment to the next level and you want to jump down the rabbit hole, have specific, strategic, detailed conversation about the crypto space, futures trading, real estate, options trading, stock trading, portfolio building, crypto portfolio building, join us over at Circa 84 because we are having those conversations over there. There is a link for that is my referral link down in the description. For those of you in the Wolfpack looking to take the conversation to the next level, feel free to tap in over at Circa 84. Last but not least, we want to give a shout out to the Bag Chasers. They also get this content multiple days early, at minimum 72 hours before the general public. The link to that Patreon group is also down in the description. That is not my Patreon group. It is Anton Daniels of AntonDaniels.com's Patreon group. And we give them a shout out as a participating member. I am a paying member over in that Patreon group as well. Some great networking going on over there. The conversations aren't necessarily as in-depth or strategic, but there's good networking, good group of people moving in the same direction that we are. Shout out to the Bag Chasers. Now let's get into the show. Boom. Let's go. Okay. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and start with the fun stuff. Then we'll do the news. And then we'll get to my little monologue and close it out. Now, let's bring this back up to the screen for you guys. Boom. Make me small. Not a conceited person. Okay, so first and foremost, we're going to jump on the main page here over at CoinGecko.com. Super useful website. Real good, in-depth way to find different projects and platforms to jump in here on. Let's see here. The top 3 trending topics are the top 3 trending coins are as follows. At number 1, we have OPSEC OPSEC. Interesting. Currently at a 15.4% gain. A lot of people doing some research on OPSEC. Number 2, we've got Palm, PALM AI. They are up currently at 44.5%. And we have DexCheck, which is up 15.7%. Interesting. Those are the top 3 trending. We are looking at, this is what people are researching, what people are looking, what people are clicking through on the site. A lot of traffic going to those 3 coins. Bitcoin dominance is currently at 48.3%. ETH dominance is sitting at 17.6%. Gas fees are high as of this current recording, sitting at 42 GWEI. Now, the higher that number is, the more expensive the fees, which means that if you're moving money around, it better be a large sum of money or it's just not worth it. If you're cashing anything out, it better be a large sum of money or it's just not worth it. In other words, main chain ETH, not good idea to use. Layer 2s are going to be a tad more expensive right now. Because when the prices are up, the prices are up for everybody. Now we're going to jump into the next fun part that everybody likes. We are looking at the top 5 gainers and losers in the last 24 hours at the time of recording. At number 1 on the winners chart, we are getting some bull run pops. At rank 354, we have Gamma Strategies. I use some of their pools. I should have been looking at the underlying asset. Missed this one. They are currently up 1,985.6% in the last 24 hours. Good God. You know what? We're gonna have to do a click through here real quick because I gotta see what's going on here. What happened with this? Let's share this tab instead, see what we got going on. Oh Lord, this chart is looking beautiful. Up 200% in the last hour. Goodness gracious. Now, what Gamma Strategies does is in the liquidity provider pool. I come across them a lot on Camelot decks. I have a few pools with them. I did not know they had an underlying coin, or I would have gotten in. This is heart-wrenching. Okay, let's go back to the list. At number 2, at rank 898, we have web3games.com token WGT. Currently up 63.7% in the last 24 hours. At number 3, we have at rank 663, Forgotten Playland, FP. They are up 59.7% in the last 24 hours. At number 4, we have GT Protocol, GTAI, at rank 795. They're up 56% in the last 24 hours. At number 5, rounding out the end of the list, we have Palm AI showing up again at rank 661. PALM, they are up 44.5% in the last 24 hours. Now we're going to jump over to the top losers. I hope none of you are over on this list ever. You should be winning indefinitely. But this ain't that bad. At number 1, we have, with a pullback of 76.4% at rank 689, we have GX Chain, GXC. At number 2, at rank 435, we have PlayDAP, PLA. They have had a loss of 22.3% in the last 24 hours. At number 3, at rank 135, we have SiaCoin, SC. They have had a pullback of 16.2% in the last 24 hours. At number 4, we have at rank 670, ENQAI. ENQAI. They've had a pullback of 15.4% in the last 24 hours. And rounding out the end of the list, last but not least, at number 5, at rank 557, we have Solend, SLND. They are having a pullback of 14.5% in the last 24 hours. Now, we're going to jump over into the portfolio. Start off at the top. First and foremost, first thing to notice is we are up just a hair under 20%. We're at 19.7%. We are literally 3 months in, because we rolled this portfolio out, started it out in January was when we did, or no, the December. We did it in December was when we do the switch over. We cashed everything out, started redeploying in December. So we're basically 3 months in, up 20%. Cannot complain. That's a good chunk of change. The portfolio is looking as diversified as it ever has. I like this pie chart. Nothing's exceedingly large. As we saw during the bull run, we were kind of consolidated in on positions we were looking at growing. In this scenario, for the bull run, we're trying to get as many positions as possible. Obviously, we're not going to get all of them, but we're trying to get ourselves spread out with this pool of money as much as possible. We're trying to touch on as many things as possible. So can't complain. Let's go through the top 10. At a commanding number 1, we have Synthetics Network, SNX. At number 2, we have Ethereum, ETH. At number 3, we have Solana, SOL. At number 4, we have Arbitrum, ARB. At number 5, we have Injective, INJ. At number 6, we have Camelot token, GRAIL. At number 7, now we have Dimension, DYM. At number 8, we have WMatic, Wrapped Matic, WMATIC. At number 9, we have Wrapped Bitcoin, WBTC. And at number 10, we have Wrapped Staked Ether, WSTETH. Now, as we'll notice, Dimension has moved up. What did we buy this weekend? What did we buy? Injective, we had that one out of Injective and TIA. We are obviously moving towards positions where we have, I want to get 100 Injective and 100 TIA. You can do the math on what those positions are going to look like. And Injective has been the loss leader out of those two positions. So we are buying actively and staking actively in those positions all day, every day. As far as what we're working towards, the other thing that we did was we added another 100 dimension. It's actually a little bit over 100. We had an allocation coming into the market, and I wanted to add to the dimension play. There was a separate play on osmosis in a liquidity position that I'm doing along with the 21-day lockup on dimension that's on chain staked into and validating. Those were the two positions we went in on. Obviously, when we bring money into the market, we're trying to get them into the most efficient positions, but we're also trying to make sure we have stuff to sell off as far as these positions. And since dimension, we got a healthy jump on the 21-day from the airdrop, I also wanted to add in a additional kicker of that separate position because I wanted some more liquidity providing over on osmosis. We're trying to get expanded more into the Tendermint network. I wanted some more funds over there, and there was a dimension play to be had over there that's got some really good APR on it. So we went ahead and put a position in, and we're gonna let it do what it do. We're gonna see how it rides out. I'm excited for it. I'm ready for it to, we're trying to kick it off. We're trying to get the money going. We're trying to keep the money flowing during the bull run. Obviously, we did our last allocation out, and it looks like we were under $1,000 this month, but just under. It was at $958, which is not bad. I had to look at my board because I keep that tracked on my calendar. Before it goes into the monthly tracker, I keep all the numbers on my calendar just so that way I know when I do things and they're done. But, still strong numbers. I didn't think it was going to be that well. I never do. I always downplay this because this money just goes back into the market anyway. So it's just bolstering the portfolio at this point. But it's an interesting thing to watch as we get ready to go into the bull run, which we are in. We're going into the bull run. We're going into the halving. Like people don't want to start talking bull run until the halving. But if we look, there is one thing that I do want to look at out here. Let's bring it back to this tab. When they say that we're not in the halving, like I just want to go back here. Give me the regular. When they say that we're not into the halving, and we look at these numbers. So over the past year, Bitcoin's up 125.5%. In 30 days, we are up 23.2%. In 14 days, we're up 7.2%. 7 days, not so much, and then it just dwindles down from there. But I mean, over the past year, we're up over 100%. Over 100%. We're in the bull run. Like we've been in the bull run. We crossed into this year into the beginnings of a bull cycle. Like there's no way that you're going to say that we haven't been here. Like people who are still like making bull run news as though it's coming, like, yes, it's going to get better, but it has started. Like the agitation in the market, it's not a straight line up. It's a stair step up. But over the course of a year, we are up over 100%, over 100%. 100% is awesome in any other market except this one, because we run in Fantasyland numbers during the halvings and the Bitcoin bull run. But the beginning of the bull run is the beginning of the bull run. Like when we're on an upward trend, you're on an upward trend. Stuff has been going up regularly for a year because Bitcoin's up 100%. When you look at most of these altcoins over the year, like let's just go take a look at Ethereum, number 2. Oh, Look at that. Up almost 100%. Wait a second. Let's go back and take a look at some of these other coins. BNB. Are you BNB's chart might be a little bit weird. Yeah, up 30% over the year. That's a good year. Wall Street Trapper is excited about 30%. Traditional finance guys are excited about 30%. Bullish. Hold up. Let's look at Sol. Solana up 374.2% over the year. Okay, let's take a look at XRP. They've had a rough year. Up 44.8%. Let's look at the number Cardano. How's Cardano doing? Pretty. Oh, look, up 64.7%. Nothing's not up over the year, I don't think. I don't think we're going to avalanche on the chart. Up 108.1% over the year. They're selling you a narrative in these cryptocurrency spaces to make news. I've been saying as soon as I saw my staking rewards go up past a certain point, I was like, we're in the bull run. This has started. And they're consistently making news out of nothing. And it's wild to me. And I understand it's because they've got larger channels. And they got to get the people coming back. They got to get them agitated and feeling some sort of way, because once you have a large platform, there's a lot of window lickers that are included in that. And they got to placate to the lowest common denominator. And that's the reason I'm so happy that we're keeping the wolf pack tight. I'm not going to make content for the lowest common denominator. I'm not trying to body roll in the algorithm. I just want to tell the truth as it is, documenting my journey through this crypto space, and showing you guys the reality of what goes on. I miss that gamma play. That kind of hurts. Having a 10x this early in the bull run would have been nice. I would have felt good. But I wasn't thinking you can't be in every play. And I was familiar with gamma strategies because they're part of a platform that I use. That's how I found Pyth Network. But I'm going to have to start doing some more deep dives into the stuff that I'm using, these contracts that I'm using. I'm going to have to start looking at them a little bit closer to make sure that they don't have tokens, because part of my cash out process is reinvesting in the underlying assets of what I've been doing. And, in certain cases, especially with Arbitrum, I am loaded up on Arbitrum. I have a lot of Arbitrum. I'm over leveraged in that network just because there's really good plays on the network. So we might have to start switching over to putting some funding into some of these underlying assets, such as the contracts that we're using. And we're going to have to start looking a little bit deeper, because there's probably going to be some plays as this bull run goes on, just like with Gamma. And that's not even to say Gamma's done, but I'm at 1,000%, I'm definitely not throwing my money into that. I'll reinvest liquidity rewards into it. But I'm man, that's just... It's one of those moves where it's you see stuff like that and you're not going to hit every single play, but you don't go chase it with your money, especially a coin that's up 1,000%. That's not a good buy right now, in my opinion. Could it continue to go up? Could it go up another 1,000? Absolutely. Could. But then you're chasing gains. You're not in front of them. So I have a bunch of stuff, that positions that we're in, and if we're lucky, some of those positions are going to pop off. And when they do, we'll be here. We'll talk about it. We'll get some of those. We're hoping that we don't end up on the big loss list. I mean, one of the positions that's a big loss list that we're still, since I still have money on the platform, we're still reinvesting a little bit at a time, is Parallax. That dudded out. The way that their contract, that automation works, I don't like it. It seems like it bleeds money. And I'm not a fan of that. It's so, but we're going to let the little bit of funds that we went over there ride out, because it's still paying out. It's just You're not. I mean, what you're getting and what it's doing, it's just there's better platforms, and so not everyone's going to be a win, but we have enough wins that drowns it out. But that's all for the fun stuff. Let's jump over to the news real quick, and then we're going to hit the monologue and get you guys out of here. Like I said, we're trying to keep these tight, short, and sweet. Actually, I'm not trying to keep them short. I want them to be as short as they need to be for me to get the point across and convey the information that I believe is going to offer a benefit to you guys. But we're going to bring the news section. News section brought to you by Delta Investment Tracker, powered by eToro. Shout outs to them. I will have this link in the news section in the description. As I promised moving forward, I'm getting better about this. Bear with me. This one's going to be in there. Now, as far as the news for the week goes, these are the highlights. The too long didn't read. TLDR. Major developments for the week. We have Bitcoin futures market is heating up. Open interest surpasses 6.7 billion. There's a reason for that. And it's not us. It's the institutions. And they've made some tools that are heavily leaning into the futures market, both for Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is the second piece of news. CME futures reach 1 billion milestone. Yeah, they're making money out of that now. They figured out a way to make these things relevant, and I'm not mad at them. Not mad at all. Because we getting paid. Total net inflows of 2.27 billion streamed into Bitcoin ETF products last week. Last week, people. Spot Bitcoin ETFs within 20 days gobbled up 1% of the total Bitcoin supply that there will ever be. We still have a long time before we get to the 21 million Bitcoin, and they've gobbled up 1% of it in 20 days. It would be remiss and disingenuous to say that it's not high-key probable, Wall Street Trapper, that we will hit $100,000 Bitcoin this year. I know you stood on business. I know you big bank, little bank people out of being able to bet with you so that you don't have to be wrong or pay out. I mean, I would have been fine with a gentleman's bet, but obviously you gotta have more money than what anybody who is one of your, what you would consider an underling, could challenge you. But it's 100% wrong assessment, but you'll get to see the Bitcoin bull run firsthand, because we definitely, over the course of the Bitcoin bull run, post halving, without these ETFs, they weren't needed, we're going to be over $100,000. This is fuel on a fire. And like, granted, you wasn't here. You haven't been in this space for a decade. I have. I understand that I don't have the money you have. But in this space, I've seen what I've seen, and just based on the numbers from the previous bull runs, you can look at the charts, the multiples that the Bitcoin ran up in those charts. For somebody who reads charts and understands the tea leaves, it's not hard to go back and look at previous performance, look at where we're at now, and just do the math. Just saying. Now, normally that's over a 2-year period, but this bull run they're talking about could be longer than 2 years as well, because of the institutional involvement. Also, there might not be an 80% cliff because of the institutional involvement. It's going to be a little bit different. But anyways, they're gobbling up all the Bitcoin. There's not enough Bitcoin to buy. There's about to not be enough Bitcoin for people to buy, and then the prices are going to go up. Moral of the story, supply and demand. It's simple. Avalanche will undergo a 37.9.76 million unlock on February 22nd, which has previously happened. That is interesting because it seemed like, based on the Avalanche chart, they've seen a little bit of sell-off, and there was a dip at 14 days. There's a dip at 17 days. Or 14 days and the 7 day. there's a dip of 6.8% and 7.6% over the 7 days and the 14 days. I'm guessing those are the people who sold off from that unlock, but it looks like it's back on the uptrend now a little bit. Interesting news in regards to ApeCoin. Ape Chain will be powered by Arbitrum. I love Arbitrum. Following a majority vote of 50.35% that favored it over other options, including Polygon. Yes, because if you're a liquidity provider who uses Polygon, it is a terrible experience. I'm just going to say it. Nobody talks about how terrible the smart contract functionality on Polygon is. It is awful. It is the worst experience outside of Solana shutting down. It's the worst chain to use. Every time I've used it over the years, and it's never gotten better. It's never gotten better. It's been terrible since the get-go, and no one says anything about it. Arbitrum, silky smooth. Never had an issue. Solana, when it's up, silky smooth. Never had an issue. Optimism, when it's fun, never had an issue on that. Polygon's the only layer 2 that I've ever used where numbers disappear. It is trippy. Like, you got to wait, and then like you're trying to push the contract through. Like, I don't like having money. I feel better having money sitting on Solana right now than I do having it sit on Polygon. Because at least Solana, you ain't going to be able to do nothing. And you get in there and you just like, cool, like we're just going to have to wait till they reboot it and like whatever. Polygon, you're playing cat and mouse with clicking to get functions done. And it's awful. And they've never fixed it. And for some reason, no one says anything about it. As a user who uses the smart contract functions on that chain, it is garbage. Straight hot trash, especially for a liquidity provider, because you're looking at large sums of money and the numbers just disappear and you can't click shit. It's atrocious. So hopefully they fix it, because I can 100%, if anyone in the ApeCoin community, which I'm going to assume it's not a mainstream coin like that, I'm going to assume a lot of those guys do use smart chains. And being in the space, a lot of those guys have been around for a while. And being in the space, a lot of those guys have probably tried to put money on Polygon and then watch the numbers disappear and then have to wait to be able to click the number, to click your buttons to make any type of change, to pull your money out, put your money in, claim your rewards. All of it just disappears, comes back at random. And before anyone says, oh, it's your computer, it's every computer I've ever been on since the chain launched. It's not the computer. It's not the computer. It's the chain, and it's the way that those smart contracts work. That's not to say that the money disappears or the chain crashes. It's just a pain in the ass to use. It's such a pain. It's just like when I use Cardano. It's a pain to use. It's a pain to get money over there. It's a pain to get stuff in the market. Their DeFi ecosystem sucks. It doesn't have bridges that are good that people want to use. It's hard to program for. Like, it's just, like, no, it's not going to kill ETH because it's a pain and no one's over there. Like, oh my God. Solana Mobile has announced Snapshot 2 set for February 21st, 7 p.m. UTC. That launched on my birthday. I thought about I couldn't do it. I don't know that we're there yet. I think it's very innovative. I think it's a good effort, but I would rather see Solana get their chain stable with no crashes, as opposed to having phones. My hot take. That aside, when Solana's up, silky smooth, like using it. Numbers don't disappear. Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy has seen its Bitcoin investment exceed $4 billion in profits. And you wonder why this man keeps issuing debt to buy more Bitcoin. Because it's the best performing asset, period, since its existence. Period. Kind of makes sense, right? Injective launched what is described as the first ever omni-chain domain name service supporting both Injective and Solana. That could be interesting. You know, we've been buying up Injective. I don't understand why it's been taking the dip, but I'm going to take the dip prices because we're going to keep buying because we got to get our bag of 100. That's the goal. And then we'll have a fallback. Once we get to 100, I mean, whatever I end up with before we start getting into crazy numberville, we'll be trimming down to 25. Like, that's my goal. I want at minimum for these like larger, more expensive chains. I'm doing 25 for SNX. We'll probably trim down to 100, 150. We're also going to be selling off a little bit for some Chainlink because I do want to have. I trimmed down my goal for Chainlink. I was originally wanting to be sitting on 500. I don't think that I need 500. I think 250 will be good. So I need 150 more Chainlink, and yeah, I don't even feel, in my gut instinct tells me that I don't need 500 Chainlink. I would rather put, as opposed to finishing off that position, I'm going to lower it to 250. And I would rather, because that's finishable position. And I would also rather have more Ethereum because we are on the trail for 32 Ethereum. That's kind of my next goal, but knocking off that position would be good. I've got a couple of positions that are low expense that I want to have that I'm gonna probably put in a scenario where it's staked. And yeah, the Chainlink is not going to be staked. It's probably going to just live in my in the vault to be trimmed off as needed. Yeah, because obviously we get rid of everything before the Bitcoin and the Ethereum. But yeah, no, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. So that's the news. So we're gonna drop that out. Go back to full screen with me. So what are we talking about today? Why this bull run is and will be different. Namely, institutions are openly and rampantly buying up all the Bitcoin. As Bitcoin goes up, it pulls up the entire market. And that's the gist of the end of the story. When we just looked at the previous news story the news stories that we were looking at, we can see there's a lot of activity from institutions in the futures market. For those of you who don't know, do your research. Eventually, probably in, I'd say, a few weeks, I'll do a breakdown. Once we start doing the portfolio breakdowns and start tracking my traditional finance portfolios, my brokerage portfolio, and my Roth 401k portfolio, you'll see we'll do a lot more of like, hey, what's this position and why are you in it? And one of them directly touches on exactly why the Bitcoin futures and the Ethereum CME futures are going bananas right now, because there's some income to be made there. But when we look at the total net flows over the last week of 2.27 billion into the Bitcoin ETF products, there's 9 products. BlackRock has the largest one. That's just the ETF products. That's not including MicroStrategy, which has been buying. They've been front running the ETFs for over a year, well over a year. Michael Saylor's been in this space. He is a fixture, constantly buying Bitcoin, every dip buying Bitcoin, regularly buying Bitcoin. When Bitcoin goes up, he buys Bitcoin. That's the reason when people ask when I'm going into the market, like this year will be a little bit different because we're taking a little bit of time once this runs just for the bull run to see how it settles out. I will be focusing heavily on my traditional finance portfolio. I'll be heavily in my brokerage during that time period. But I also have things within the market that are generating as well. So I am adamantly and openly over leveraged in the crypto space. 80% of my wealth in the crypto space, probably over. That's including my house, my portfolios, all that stuff. My crypto space stuff dwarfs all of it. The reason that this one's going to be different, though, is institutional money. There's a couple of different variables. One, they'll be doing portfolio rebalances every year. Now, that could contribute to some dips in the market because they'll sell stuff off to balance it out. So after these, because a lot of people's portfolios are about to go bananas. Now, these managed ones that are managed by hedge funds that now have the ability to have Bitcoin exposure in their portfolios, they're going to rebalance out of those positions into loss leading positions. So this actually will have the opportunity to stimulate the traditional finance market as well, because as they come out of those winning Bitcoin positions, especially during a bull run, that's going to cause a dip in the Bitcoin market. Now, will it be a major dip? We don't know, but it's going to taper off. I think it's going to taper off some of the bull run because normally we just keep running. Now, at the end of the year, after we've run really hard, these positions are there. These portfolios are going to be way out of whack, and they're going to have to sell off some of those ETFs. Then it's going to create a dip. When that dip happens, you're going to see an inverse correlation with the stock market now, because those Bitcoin gains are going to go back into the stock market. It's going to give the traditional finance space a way to hedge poor performance on their end and also take money from our end. The thing that people are saying that like, oh, the hedge funds are going to just buy up all the Bitcoin and then it's and there's going to be no Bitcoin. There's going to be Bitcoin because they're going to spit it back into the market. And we've already seen how they do that. They buy over the counter. They dump spot. They dump into the market, which does affect the price because you can see it. So when they do, I'm interested to see at the end of the year how these portfolio rebalances look. Because when they rebalance, we'll get to see what the real deal is. Because at that point, it'll be a game of cat and mouse between the institutions and the people. Because when they have to rebalance those portfolios, because they're probably not going to change their strategy. They're not just going to let their portfolios just blowed up with Bitcoin and then just keep it. Like they're dinosaurs. They're going to go, oh, we made a lot of money over here. Now we can buy into these businesses, which is fine. Like they're hedging. They're going to average out this portfolio and make it balanced. That makes sense. But that's going to be the general population when they dump onto the market and the price drops. Those are going to be the new opportunities for people to buy. Like, and honestly, the strategy might be moving forward is dollar cost average, but save a little bit back while the price is running up and focus in and look at the time of year when they do these portfolio rebalances and then trigger your buys around that point, because you're going to see that market move when they dump onto the market, because they're not going to sell over the counter. They're not going to do it probably. That's going to be interesting. The other thing is there might not be massive dips, because when the general public sells off at the end of the bull run, that's where you get the 80% drop, because everybody's just trying to get offloaded. They're trying to get back into cash so that they can buy the house, the Lamborghini, and say that they wanted crypto. And they leave the market. Well, now when you dump, depending on when it is, the institutions are going to buy it up. And then you're going to have to wait, which is going to throw things out of whack. So like this could make a stabilizing effect. And like the people who get caught this bull run specifically are going to get caught out, because it's like you'll sell, but you might be buying back in at a higher rate for those people who want to do the swing trade or try to get fancy with it. Like me personally, I look at Bitcoin like a house. Like I don't just up and sell my house. Like, matter of fact, like the one thing that I was told by one of my mentors is every property that you get a hold of, try to figure out a way to never let it go. That's how you get wealthy. And I look at Bitcoin as digital property. I look at Ethereum as digital property. I don't want to sell them off if I don't have to. Or depending on how you're doing that, if you're going to eat off of it, then you're selling small amounts. I wouldn't dump all my Bitcoin, especially if it's on an upward trajectory, to just have a bunch of dollars that is guaranteed on a downward trajectory in the stance of buying power, of what you can buy. That's the reason that I think that this will be different. There's variables that we have never had before, namely open involvement of institutions. It used to just be MicroStrategy, basically, that was buying a lot of Bitcoin. There were other places that were buying some Bitcoin, other businesses that were buying some Bitcoin. But as far as like we're trying to get all the Bitcoin, it was just MicroStrategy. Now we have hedge funds. Now we have 9 major hedge funds that are getting in a week $2.27 billion. That is a different variable that we have never seen, that we can't account for. No one who's been here can tell you what's going to happen this bull run specifically because of who's involved. We can guesstimate about what the people are going to do. Like I know what most people are going to do. They're going to see some money. They're going to see some green, and them not knowing how money functions or the difference between assets and money, they're going to cash out. They're going to be sitting on a bunch of cash that's going to be going down in value. And then when they come back into the market later, they're going to be buying at a worse position than what they sold at. That's what the general population does. That's the reason most people stay poor. No one's making you poor. You're giving up opportunity for short-term gratification. And those of us who are not going for the short-term gratification win, because we're in it for the long haul. We just buy stuff up and then don't give it back to you unless it's at a rate that's appeasing to us. And you're just indefinitely in a cycle where you consistently lose, because every time you're giving up everything. I'm selling all the Bitcoin. I want all that money. I'm going to have all that money right now. I'm going to go buy a car that's going to go down in value that I'm not going to sell for a profit. I'm going to go buy a house that I now have no way to maintain because I bought a $500,000 house and I make $50,000 a year. Can't keep the lights on. Can't keep the gas going. Can't pay the electric bill. Water's expensive. I got a pool. The people who are not planning long-term are not going to win. It's just that simple. And I think that we're going to close it out on that. It's your boy, Reckless Ray Dinero. Again, as always, if you enjoyed the content, you like the conversation that we're having over here, feel free to subscribe, join the Wolf Pack. We've got 2 drops a week and then a live stream every Thursday, except for last week. And obviously anytime that business calls, because business comes first. But that aside, we welcome you to join us, man. It's good times. It's going to be some great conversations that we're going to have over the coming weeks, months, years in regards to this crypto adventure, because it's not going away. And I will be here during the bear market. I enjoy the bear market better, actually. It's harder. It's on hard times. But for those of you who enjoyed the video, definitely like, share, subscribe. Tap in with me down in the comments. Tell me your thoughts. What are you guys thinking? Are you guys prepared for the bull run? Are you planning long-term? Are you in Bitcoin for this year? Are you in crypto for the year? What's your end game? That's going to be a good one. That actually might be an episode as well. We might turn that into an episode, but I want to hear from you guys. Let's talk about it down in the comments below. What's your end game? Let's have the conversation. I think that's going to be good. And I think that's also going to be a show topic. It's your boy, Reckless Ray Dinero. And until the next time, peace. I am out.
Cryptocurrency, currency. She love cryptocurrency. Me have a hot sexy girl. Whoa. Tip jar. She wanna go down and she dips her. She love dancehall and calypso. She don't want the cash, she want the crypto. Me have a hot sexy girl, just a tip jar. She wanna come up and she dips her. She love dancehall and calypso. She don't want the cash, she want the crypto. Decentralized like a blockchain. Anyway you see me, girl, you know it now go stop wait. Pull up in the Beamer, all the Benz, the Bentley. Give cryptocurrency. That's what we spending. We not in a lending. No for them a stake, yo. We not in a renting. Bad mind fussy them. Once see we ending. Grinding out with face, but call that pretending. Now left me 9 milli. Girl, so we trending. Me have a hot sexy girl, just a tip jar. She whine and go down and she dips her. She love dancehall and calypso. She no wanna cash, she wanna crypto. Me have a hot sexy girl, just a tip jar. She whine and come up and she dips her. She love dancehall and calypso. She no wanna cash, she wanna crypto. She love cryptocurrency, currency, cryptocurrency, currency, cryptocurrency, currency. She love cryptocurrency. Made a mass wallet. Cryptocurrency, currency, cryptocurrency, currency, cryptocurrency, currency. Coinbase wallet. Stack it up. Me have a hot sexy girl, just a tip jar. She whine and go down and she dips her. She love dancehall and calypso. She no wanna cash, she wanna crypto. Me have a hot sexy girl, just a tip jar. She whine and come up and she dips her. She love dancehall and calypso. She no wanna cash, she wanna crypto. She love all me DeFi. And so me make she feel high. Digital currency, I what she need. Inflation make the dollar